You are going to want to hear what Jade Cargill just said about Rhea Ripley. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what she had to say and why it is so significant of what she said. Because Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley, they are two of the most prominent stars that WWE has under contract right now. Jade Cargill obviously making the jump from AEW in 2023 to WWE, and ever since has made a notable splash, most notably in a tag team with Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley, on the other hand, she's been with the WWE for many years, in which she's found success every brand that she's been on, whether that has been in NXT UK, NXT, or now on the main roster. And while she has found success throughout her tenure with the company, she's also had ups and downs. Jade Cargill, not a lot of people understand this, but she's also had ups and downs, both professionally and personally. And while, yes, she was pushed as a top star in AEW and consistently is pushed as a top star in WWE, she's also had to face a lot of criticisms. And there's a lot that flies under the radar with Jade Cargill as well as Rhea Ripley. If you think about Rhea Ripley, she has gone from what she thought was going to be a knockoff version of Charlotte Flair and an imagery in which she did not want to portray among the eyes of the fan base. Therefore, she changed her look drastically, went into a much darker element, a darker gimmick. And that has paid off significantly for her because she stands alone. And I understand there's a lot of comparisons to her in the late China. I don't see that one bit. I think Rhea is actually above China in that regard. And if you look at it like this, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, they find themselves in very interesting situations because for years and years and years there's been this debate, this idea of what if a Jade Cargill steps foot inside the squared circle with Rhea Ripley. Well, now that possibility is really, really there because while, yes, both are on separate brands, it's just a matter of when, not if, when Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill will step foot inside the squared circle. Jade Cargill, she's doing really good things with Bianca Belair as a tag team. Rhea Ripley obviously is in an epic feud with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio for the Women's World Championship, and it's been a lot of fun to follow. Now, let's get into today's topic because Jade Cargill, well, she would welcome a bout with Rhea because although Cargill has only been on the main roster since January when she made her promotional debut at the Royal Rumble, she's also made a quick impact. She's won the women's tag team titles alongside Bianca Belair, and they went after the titles and found them, won them, defended them, lost them. But now, Jade Cargill, well, while speaking with Adam Bernard of the Foundation Radio, she spoke about a potential match with Rhea. She said, "That's actually one of my dream matches. I know she was injured, but I know the thing about winning. I have an undefeated streak. I would love that. Iron sharpen iron. I would love that match." Now, why this is so significant? Well, this is a money match. This is a match in which both stars have talked about wanting to do, how they think it would be a notable match. It would be a big match, and I 100% agree. This is the type of match in which you could easily headline a pay-per-view event. That is not out of the question. In years past, we have seen women's wrestling and women's matches in WWE be so significant and so big and so over and so intriguing that they will headline pay-per-view events. I think of Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks years ago. I think of even Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks headlining WrestleMania Night 1. At WrestleMania 37, you think of the triple threat match with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships at WrestleMania 35 in 2019. Or even earlier this year, we saw Nia Jax headline a WWE PLE when she challenged Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title at the Elimination Chamber PLE in Australia. This idea of having women headline PLEs is not out of the question, especially B-level pay-per-views. I'm super, super on board with an idea of doing a Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan main event. You could easily do that pick a PLE outside of maybe Saudi Arabia. Obviously, I don't see them headlining Bash in Berlin. I think that's a Gunther, Randy Orton main event, right? It fits the bill with Gunther. He's the world champion. It's overseas, right? It's in Germany. It makes sense for them to do that. But like, why not? Why not? And you know what? And I thought about this as well. Like, we have Survivor Series coming up in November. I'm not someone who thinks that they should rush this Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley feud. I don't think they should go 3 straight PLEs. Like, you can drag this out a little bit, and you can finish it up at Royal Rumble. You could finish it up at even WrestleMania. Like, with War Games coming up, they like to do men and women War Game matches. Why can't you have a team Liv and a team Rhea, right? Like, I can have, and then it's all heels on Liv and it's all baby faces on Rhea, and you just do it like that. I also think, I mean, if you think about like last year, you had on SmackDown, you had Damage Control as the heels, and then you had a bunch of baby faces. Well, they worked that feud at the time. They had that feud months going into Survivor Series, and they even extended it, and they changed out some pieces here and there, but all the way to WrestleMania, right? Naomi and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, they worked Damage Control. So, like, you could easily do that. I don't see a reason. And as far as, like, a Jade Cargill goes, I don't know necessarily when WWE is going to split her and Bianca Belair up. I would assume it's going to be somewhat soon. Or at least planting the seeds of it, because they've been attached to the hip really since March. And that was after, obviously, their stare down in the Royal Rumble. Which is, I mean, that's going to be a epic feud in itself, right? Like, and I've always said this, it's who's going to turn heel? Is it going to be Bianca Belair that finally turns heel, something in which we haven't seen? I don't like that idea, but I think it's definitely on the table. I think Rhea Ripley would be, I think Jade Cargill would rather be a heel in that regard. She's played a heel in the past. She's done very well in that role if you go back to her AEW days. So it'll be interesting. Like, you look at the landscape coming up, you have Bash in Berlin in August. You have Bad Blood coming up in October. They go back to Sweet Saudi Arabia, then they go to wherever they're at for Survivor Series on November 30th. Like, there's some interesting pieces going on in WWE right now. And Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, they're leading the forefront. Liv Morgan, I still have no idea why they put the title on Nia Jax, but I disagree with that, whatever. Like, there's a lot of interesting things going on in WWE. And as we go into 2025, and as the WWE continues to invest in the women's division across Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, things are only going to get more interesting. And for me, yeah, sign me